Welcome to the District of Columbia, the future 51st state of the Union. This is where we're at with our community engagement and partnerships in DC.
Vengan.
Hey, come on over here.
Vengan acá.
Come over here. You need us too. Let's do this together.
Amen to that.
It wasn't always like this though. So we wanted to share a little bit about how we got here. Hi, my name is Allison White. I'm the Executive Director of the DC Developmental Disabilities Council and also a co-chair of the Cultural and Linguistic Competence Community of Practice.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Augusto. I'm the Supervisor of Intake and Outreach at DC's Department on Disability Services and also a co-chair of the Cultural and Linguistic Competency Community of Practice. We are excited to tell you a little bit more about our model for community engagement, which was developed as we more intentionally engaged with DC's Latinx community over the last few years. As we began this engagement, there are a few actions we took that we realized were key to our success.
The first step in our model was to gather information and begin to understand the needs and strengths of the Latinx community. We analyzed our data and identified some possible barriers to engagement. From there, we could identify strategic actions we could take in order to begin building trust and better serving this community.
That's right. We looked at our data. Latinx people make up about 11% of DC's population. Looking at this data, we knew that there were disparity in the number of Latinx people receiving services from any of our organizations that were part of the COP.
So one of the things we did was hold one of our community of practice meetings at the Mount Pleasant Library. This library is located in a neighborhood where the Latinx community settled and built their families and communities for many years. At the meeting, we were fortunate to hear from one of the library historians who had grown up in the neighborhood, and he shared a lot with us about the history of the community.
To be strategic, we focused on building partnerships, ensuring that leadership bought into this entire process and developed ongoing programming in Spanish.
We built lots of partnerships with other organizations that serve the Latinx community. And this was a lot of fun along the way. This was a strategic move to build trust. We wanted to connect with people that were already trusted in the Latinx community so that we could really prove our commitment.
And then we looked at building internal capacity to serve Spanish speakers. And we realized we needed to hire more Spanish speakers within all of our organizations. To do that, we changed job descriptions and posting to reach more bilingual applicants. We learned from listening to people that being able to speak to someone or receive information in their native language was absolutely necessary for building trust.
We also reviewed and modified existing policies related to language access, intake, and engagement using the lens of cultural competence.
And as I mentioned earlier, we created ongoing programming based on what we heard the community needed and wanted. We hosted a conference on disabilities, all in Spanish, one of the first of its kind in DC. We had organizational leaderships commit to do this annually. And we actually hosted our second one a few months ago. Our first one, we hosted it in a church that served many Latinx people as a way of continuing to build trust.
And ongoing, we just continue to listen and learn at every opportunity that we have. Every opportunity that the Latinx community gives us to listen, we're there.
And our next step is really looking at adapting this model for underserved communities.
So, what have we learned along the way? So much. We've learned that we need to be very intentional about this work.
We also know we need to build relationships.
We need to prioritize language access, including plain language.
We need to engage cultural brokers. We need to engage those that already have established trust and build these mutual learning relationships with them.
We've learned that trust really takes time and it can be broken in an instant.
We also learned that the how and the what are both ongoing processes, that there are different opportunities at different times.
We learned that it is hard to remember to keep equity and access at the forefront of our minds at every single moment, but we must keep trying.
We also learned that sometimes you have to be a salesperson, and I'm going to say most times you have to be a salesperson.
And we learned that our organizational partnerships within the community of practice have really strengthened during our time working together. We really started by getting to know each other as people first, and that really helps us work really well together as a community of practice.
Definitely, Allison. And so in a nutshell, we use the acronym TRUST to guide our work. And for the first T, really, trust takes time and investment.
The R is relationships are essential.
The U is understand your community and its unique needs.
The S, self-assess your policies, procedures, internal capacity, and data.
And the final T is take your time to listen, and listen more.